Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to AIMS India live class NEET Foundation Biology. In this video, we are going to discuss about plant parts and functions. Children, there are many living organisms around us. These living organisms show different structures, they perform different functions. So plants are such a beautiful living organisms which perform the functions varietily. For example, photosynthesis. Only plants has the ability to perform photosynthesis. By the end of this video, we come to conclusion that how these plants able to perform such special functions. So, are you ready? Let us begin the discussion. Structure of plant. If you take a plant, the plant shows two main structures. The total plant body is divided into two parts. The part which is inside the soil, the part which is above the soil. So the part which is above the soil is called shoot system. Stem bears leaves, buds, flowers, fruits, and it lies above the ground. Root system. It is usually grow below the ground. So let us see here. This is a typical plant showing all parts. Let us discuss about the shoot system. This shoot system lies above the ground. In some plants, it may be soft and green. Such soft and green stemmed plants are called herbaceous plants. And in some plants, we can call trees. The stem is woody, not green. So if you take a stem, there are several subparts are present, like node. A node is a place where the leaf arises. A node is a place where leaf arises, or a branch produces, or a flower produces. So a node is a very important part of the plant. Next, in between two nodes, here node, in between the two nodes, the gap is present, that is called internode. So when as the plant is growing, this internodal elongation takes place and the plant grow in length. Next, if you take, there are different buds are located on the stem, mainly apical bud. Apical bud means the terminal bud, the uppermost part of the plant is called apical bud, or it is also called growing tip of the plant. Here. Next, lateral bud. Lateral bud means the bud which is present in the axils of leaf here. Such buds are called lateral buds or axillary buds. These are the buds which germinate to produce branches, flowers, etc. Okay? These are axillary buds. Next, come to the function of this stem. You know, stem is a very important part. It bears the entire weight of the plant. It bears flowers, fruits, leaves. So all these parts. Main function of stem is it supports the plant. And it also transports the various substances like water, mineral salts, food, everything to different parts of the plant through the special tissue present in it. From roots, after absorption, the stem takes that function to distribute to all parts of the plant from up to the tip. Let us come to root system. What is root system? The part of the plant which is inside the ground, which is not visible. Of course, in some plants, some modifications, they are visible. Later we discuss. But here, a typical plant root system is inside the soil. When we sow a seed in the soil, that seed germinates to produce a small white structure called radicle. That radicle grows into roots like this. First, small germination of seed takes place. In the end, we will see how the germination of seed, at that time we will discuss. So, the root emerges out and gives rise to primary root. Primary root means the main root. From this primary root, it grows straight into the soil, and this primary root may be of two types, either tap root or fibrous root. Tap root means only one main root is present, very less branches are there. But fibrous root means more number of branches are there. Okay. So primary root and root hairs are secondary roots. These are the secondary roots. Several hair-like structures, they grow because the main function of the root is it anchors the plant in the soil, or it helps in the fixation of plant in the soil. It's very, very important function. Then another very important function of root system is it absorbs water and food materials and supply to the stem, from where it is supplied to all parts of the plant. This is root system. So any doubts? Let us proceed to next slide. The structure of plant, types of root system. First, tap root system. Let us discuss. Let me show you a tap root system. The tap root system, it is an example root system. The primary root is present. This primary root gives rise to small secondary roots or rebranches forming secondary roots. Then this type of root system is seen in dicotyledonous plants. The plants which show two cotyledons. Okay, only main root is present and very less number of root hairs are present. Main root is very strong, which can go deep into the soil. Most of the taproot system plants we can't pick it out because they fix firmly. So let us see some examples. Here the taproot system, main root or primary root. These are the secondary roots or root heads. Then mustard, sunflower, and so many examples are there. Let us go for fibrous root system. Fibrous root system you can easily understand by taking a grass plant. Most of the grass family members show this fibrous root system. There is no main root clearly observed here. Bunch of hair-like roots are present. That's why they are called a fibrous root system. So it is usually formed by thin, moderately branching roots growing from the stem. From here, directly that will be. A fibrous root system is universal in monocotyledonous plants. In most of the monocotyledonous plants, here examples are given: grass, wheat, rice, marigold, white clover, maize. These are all examples of the fibrous root system. So this fibrous root system Compared to taproot system, it is different. But the function is same. It also fixes the plant in the soil and helps in the absorption of water and mineral salts. Next, true root. Here only true root means single root is present, main root. Example, carrot. Roots developed from the radical of a germinating seed. It is called true root. For example, here carrot and pea is given. Next, adventitious roots. This terminology is very important in the basics of IIT and medical foundation, particularly. Adventitious roots. What are adventitious roots? Means the roots which are developed rather than radical. Actually, in the embryo of seed, radical develops into root system and plumule develops into, for example, if you take a seed, this is the radical and this is the plumule. So radical, when it develops into root system, then it may be a taproot system or a fibrous root system. But adventitious roots means these are the roots arise from the stem or leaf, vegetative parts of the plant, not from the seed. So such roots are called adventitious roots. For example, stilt roots, banyan tree, if you take prop roots, these are developing from the stem. So such roots are called as prop roots, these are called. So banyan tree, the root system, example, adventitious roots. Okay. Let us go for next slide. Structure of plant stem modifications. If you see the stem, it has undergone several modifications. But here we are not. We are going to discuss about some concepts of modifications, not into detail. So stem modification for protection. Here, thorns. You might have seen this type of structures in rose and bougainvillea, paper flower plant. In some plants, the stem modified as thorns and prickles to protect from grazing animals, because plants also need protection to protect themselves as they are not moving from place to place. They develop some mechanism to protect themselves. As a result of it, the modifications help them to survive. Okay, so these thorns, example, bougainvillea, rose plant is the good example for protection thorns modification. These are the thorns. First modification. Second, modification for support. You know, variety of plants we will see in our surroundings. In our surroundings, some plants will creep, some plants will climb, some plants, okay, they possess woody stem, some plant possess a very weak stem. So here, for support, certain plants like climbers, okay, so beans, all gourds, different types of gourds, bitter gourd, bottle gourd, snake gourd, all these plants, some of these plants with a weak stem have slender coiled outgrowth called tendrils. Very important structure, tendrils. This is tendril. They help to coil around a support. Example, passiflora or passion flower. Okay, this is one example. Or you can observe near our surroundings so many plants, beans, okay, and snake gourd, bottle gourd, bitter gourd, all these plants. Some plants have climbing stems that twine around the support. They are called twiners. Okay. Example, wild yam, or you can take best example, peas. Pea plant, it can twine over it and it can climb the support. So here tendrils is one of the example of modification for support. Here see beans. Next, for storage. For storage, some stem undergo the modification, and in some plants, the branches, lower branches grow horizontally and swells up for storage. The extra food material will be stored in the form of tuber. Okay, that is called tubers, a stem modification. And in some plants, the leaves, here you can see stem modification. In potato, it is called tuber, and leaves called scale leaves. So these scale leaves are modified to store the food material in ginger and also turmeric also. In turmeric also same type of modification you can see. And in onion, scale leaves will form bulbs. These are called bulbs. Okay. So some plants have thick stem which grows horizontally below the soil surface. It is called rhizomes, and technical terms we can discuss later. Here the concept. So here the stem is modified to store in the ginger plant, which is underground stem. Here potato also underground stem. Here onion, if you take onion, some plants like onion, the underground stem with a central bud called bulb. Okay, bulb is present. Okay, these are some of the modifications which help the plant to survive. Next, structure of plant, type of leaves, very important part. Leaf. So this is the leaf. A leaf is the most important part of the plant, which is called kitchen of the plant body, which prepare food material. First, let us discuss the structure, then we will see again. Structure of leaf. If you take leaf, leaf is attached to the nodal region of the stem. This is the stem. This is the nodal region where the leaf arises. And the stalk of the leaf, this portion of the leaf, it is called petiole. Stalk of the leaf is called petiole. The next, to the petiole, very important and the exposed part of the leaf, the foliage part of the leaf, that is called as a leaf blade or lamina. Simply, we can call it as surface of the leaf. Surface of the leaf or expanded portion of the leaf or broad portion of the leaf, it is called as a leaf blade or lamina. Next, the middle region. The middle region of the leaf, it is called as midrib or the central vein. Vein and veinlet. You see here. The central portion, it is called as a midrib. This is called a petiole, to which the surface, this total surface of the leaf, it is called as a lamina. Then veins are arranged like this. Depending upon the dicot and monocot, it is a dicot plant, so the leaves are arranged reticulately, reticulate venation, like this. Okay. Next, so the network of leaves, the network of veins, they are called as veinlets. These are veinlets and these are veins. So let us see the types of leaves. There are two main types of leaves: simple leaves and compound leaves. Now the leaf which I have shown, it is a simple leaf. Simple leaf means the leaf with the leaf blade connected to petiole to the stem. This is a simple leaf. So example, maple leaf, so many hibiscus leaf, okay, people leaf, all these are examples of the simple leaf. So children, what we have to do is, after learning concept, when you observe our surroundings, you have to collect some leaves and compare. Then you will understand the difference between leaf to leaf. how that plant survives in that particular habitat. So here compound leaf. Compound leaf means several leaflets are present. Generally, curry leaf plant you can take. Daily we will use. So here, this each one is not called a leaf. This entire one is called as a leaf. The leaf blade is divided into number of small leaves, individual attached. They are called leaflets. They are called leaflets. So these leaflets, they are attached to the petiole, to the stem. So this kind of leaves are called compound leaf. Can you name some examples? I told the curry leaf plant. The best example you can say? Yes, neem. Neem is also, you can see, the compound leaf. Okay, so many are there. You keep observing the surroundings. Next, let us see the structure of flower. Most attracting part of the plant is flower because it is colorful. So I bought a flower for you. This is hibiscus flower. Let us discuss the parts of flower. A flower is having or we can define flower as the reproductive shoot of a plant is called a flower. Simple. In your own sentences you can define what is a flower. If anybody asks, the reproductive part of a plant is called flower, or reproductive shoot we can call, because it is a part of stem. So this flower, typical flower or a complete flower, possesses parts. These parts are arranged in rings called whorls, like this. So it is a flower in rings. The parts are arranged. So let us discuss in detail. The flower has green sepals. So here you see in the picture, green sepals. These are called the green portion, which is bottom. It is called up to here. They are called sepals. And colored part, it is called petals. And centrally located portion, this is called as the pistil and stamens, female and male reproductive parts. So total 4 whorls they are arranged. The first whorl, this is the second whorl, and this is the third whorl, and this is the fourth whorl. The central one is the fourth whorl. Okay, so let us study one by one. First whorl, calyx. What is calyx? Calyx is the outermost whorl of the outermost parts of the flower that enclosed a developing bud. Okay, so here the bud is enclosed. So this portion, protective portion, green color, leaves-like structure, they are called sepals. When the flower is a bud, the sepals enclose and protect the more delicate part. The main function of this first and second whorl is to protect the internal part of the flower. So that's why flower parts are divided into two: necessary parts and accessory parts. Accessory means not so important, but important to protect the internal parts. So calyx, outer whorl, first whorl. So the number of these sepals vary from plant to plant. So for example, in hibiscus, if you see hibiscus flower, okay, there are 6 sepals are present. Okay, so these sepals, green color. Next, petals. Second whorl is the petal. It is also outer whorl only, which is bright in color, and they are modified leaves that surround the reproductive parts of the flower, and they are often of bright colors, and usually the shapes of these Calyx is to attract the insects for pollination. See how beautiful it is. This flower, hibiscus flower, here red color petals you can see. Petals is called as a corolla. Sepals is called as a calyx. Calyx and corolla. These are the technical terms naming the sepals and the petals. Next, third whorl. The third whorl is the first internal whorl, that is andrecium, or we can call it as stamens. Andrecium consisting of stamens. These are male reproductive parts of the flower. Each stamen has a stalk here. See. So in different flowers, different kinds of arrangements are there. So here, if you see this hibiscus flower, the stamens are arranged like this. So this central one is the you can say pistil, and beside the pistil, the stamens are arranged. The number of stamens also varied from flower to flower. Okay. So stamens together called as andrecium, and this filament, if you take single stamen, there are two parts are present, that is anther and filament. So this is the male reproductive part, and this anther produce the male gametes at the time of reproduction, and this is about the stamens, and the male gametes which are produced, they are called as pollen grains or pollen. Simply we can call it as pollen. Next, fourth whorl, very important, and the centralmost whorl, that is called as a gynoecium or pistil, or sometimes we'll also call it as carpel. Okay, the reproductive terminology, we can call it as carpels. So these gynoecium and pistil consisting of ovary, style, stigma. Three parts are present. The ovary is the middle part, and from the ovary a tube-like structure arises, that is called style, and at the tip of the style a sticky portion is present, that is called stigma. The main purpose is it receives the pollen grains. It receives the pollen grains at the time of pollination. So this is the female reproductive part of the flower. So in the ovary, you will see arrangement of ovules like this. There are several dots you can observe here. So they are called, if you take the cross section of a flower, you can clearly see the arrangement of ovules, or we can also call it as eggs. These are the female reproductive gametes. Male gametes are called pollen grains, female gametes are called ovules or eggs. Let us proceed. Next, germination and structure of seed. After fertilization, in plants, fruit is produced. In the fruit, the seeds are present. You can do this experiment at home also. Soak some seeds in water. Later, you can keep it in a cloth which is somewhat light and transparent, and hang it so that it will produce these roots called radicals, and slowly it also shows plumule also. So this germination, in the month of August, particularly we will take the Bengal gram seeds we will use in the festival. So our mothers, they will celebrate. So at that time they will soak the seeds, okay, and you will see a white color portion that is called as a radical. Okay, the process by which seed grows into a seedling, it is called as, seedling is nothing but a baby plant. is called germination. Term is very important. What is germination means? The process by which seed grows into seedling is called germination. The seed required certain conditions. Normally when you keep in the soil, it won't germinate immediately. It takes some time. Okay, that time is called dormancy in technical term. But most of the seeds in 3 to 4 days, or depending upon the type of seed. So during that time, well, we have to provide certain conditions. What are those conditions? Seeds require oxygen, seeds require water, seeds require optimum temperature. These are the three main conditions required for the germination of seed. So the soil contain oxygen. The oxygen is present inside the soil. Soil contain water. We will water the plant. So water is available, and it also require, seed also require optimum temperature, as it is the temperature is also present inside the soil. As the sunlight, it provides the optimum temperature. When these conditions are available, then seed easily germinates. Okay, so after germination, the seed, let us see the structure of seed. Then let us once again discuss how it germinates. So parts of seed. If you take the parts of seed, a seed is the product of fertilization. So after fertilization, the ovules of the flower, they develop into seeds. So this seed consisting of an outer covering called seed coat, and internally a baby plant, as I told you, so that is called embryo. Embryo is the baby plant embedded in the seed. Next, the seed stores the reserve material in the form of cotyledons. In dicots, two cotyledons are present. Here two cotyledons are there. It is a dicot. So these are called cotyledons. Or we can also call it as seed leaves. They are also called seed leaves. So this provide undergoes the photosynthesis and provide food to the growing seedling. Okay. So this is the parts and functions of the plant in brief. So those who joined late, so let us discuss once again in a simple manner. So I bought a plant for you. So this is a plant. The plant, a dicot plant, hermaphrodite plant it is, Totapura. So this plant showing a taproot system. This is the taproot system, and this is the part which is inside the soil, and the part which is above the ground, it is called shoot system. The shoot system consisting of several parts. They are nodes. These are nodes. Nodes. From the nodes, leaves develop, branches develop, flowers develop. All these parts develop from the nodes. And the gap between the two nodes, here node, this gap is called as internode. Okay, and leaf is a part which is undergoing the process of photosynthesis, and that's why the leaf is called as kitchen of the plant. Next, root, taproot system. Two types of root systems are there. One is taproot system and fibrous root system. Fibrous root system, example, grass plants. Taproot system, just now I have shown you. Okay, most of the dicot plants show taproot system. Monocot plants show fibrous root system. And flower. A flower is a reproductive shoot of the plant, and it forms the fruits and seeds after pollination and fertilization. So now let us go through the exercise. How far you have understood? So the questions which are repeated in the previous Optimum. One of our friend asked, what is optimum? Optimum means the term which represent the conditions which are required, means average. So the temperature, optimum temperature 20 to 30 degrees in between. Okay, optimum moisture. Okay, little, that is called the optimum. So be ready, children. Simple questions, very important questions asked from this chapter in previous competitive exams. Those questions we will see now. A plant has weak stem and cannot stand upright. It spreads on the ground. It may be called. So we discussed in the beginning herbs, shrubs, like that. Herb, shrub, creeper, climber. Come on, answer. Those who are in the live chat, please answer. A plant has weak stem and which spreads on the ground. So still you are asking doubt about venation in the leaf. So venation means the process of arrangement of veins and veinlets in the leaf, on the leaf, is called as venation. Very good. Wrong. Climber, you said. Okay, friends. Here answer is creeper. So what is the difference between a creeper and a climber? Both are weak stemmed plants, but here the question, it spreads on the ground. So creeper example, can you say? Cucumber. Very good. Watermelon, pumpkin, they are called creepers. Okay, see the beauty of nature, how the plants divided. So let us proceed to question 2. The plants having weak stem and take support on neighbor structures is called a creeper, climber, shrub, herb. Please answer. Plants having weak stem and take support on neighbor structure is called a, very good, climber. Can you give some examples? Pea, money plant, and beans, different plants. So what we have to do is taking the term, write examples beside in the notes so that you can remember more. Only single example, it won't give the concept perfection. You will apply that knowledge in the day-to-day life, then you can get a perfection. Okay, children, let us proceed. The next question. Which plant has prop roots? In the discussion, prop roots I mentioned. So here examples are given: bamboo, sugarcane, banyan. It is a multi-correct answer type. Multi-correct answer. In the NEET, these type of questions also appear. Let us see the options. Option A, only P. Option B, P and Q. Option C, P, Q, R. And option D, actually none of these. Okay. So here, what is the correct answer? If you understand a prop root is a type of adventitious root, isn't it? Adventitious roots. The roots which develop from stem and leaves, they are called adventitious roots. So here prop roots develop from stem. So some of you saying B, bamboo and sugarcane. Okay, children, bamboo is correct, sugarcane is correct, banyan is absolutely correct. Okay, so here the answer is either P, Q, and R or all of these. Okay, here if you take a bamboo or a sugarcane plant, here the roots are developing from here, extra roots are developing from nodes of the stem. Such roots are called, so actually think again, here specially prop roots are mentioned. So here the right option is banyan. According to me, it is banyan. Okay, here options wrongly typed. Please recorrect. Prop roots, if it is mentioned in the question, we have to go to banyan only. Okay. If stilt root means bamboos, sugarcane, we come across. Or if they mention mechanical root means all will come. Mechanical roots. Right. Further, when we go for discussions in detail in the foundation class, individually we will discuss root modifications, that topic. Let us proceed to next question. The flat green portion of the leaf is called petiole, lamina, leaflet, stipule. The stipule or what is, let us define one by one. What is petiole? Petiole is nothing but a stalk of the leaf. Lamina, leaflet, stipule. Which is the correct answer here? Come on. Leaf blade. Very good. Sheikh sir, leaf blade you said. But what is the term given here? Lamina. Very good. So this is the correct answer. The correct answer is B. Petiole is the stalk of the flower. Lamina is the leaf blade or surface of the flower. Leaflet means in compound leaf, it's a part of flower. Stipule means in the stem node, here the leaf arises. The two sharp structures which are present just beside the uh, petiole, they are called stipules. In some plants they are present. If they are not present, they are sessile leaves. If they are present, they are called stipulated leaves. Further, when we discuss in the foundation, we will go through. For this question, the answer is lamina. Next question. Find the odd one out. This type of questions also appear in the competitive exams. Ovary, style, stigma. This type of questions are called analytical type questions. Analytical approach type. You have to apply your knowledge. Come on. Come on, try to answer this question. Find the odd one out. Find the odd one out. Ovary, style, stigma, first option. Second option, filament, anther, pollen. Third option, beetroot, potato, carrot. Fourth option, potato, carrot, radish. Apply your logic. Yes. Some are saying B, some are saying D, some are saying B and C. So here let us discuss the options, then come to conclusion. Ovary, style and stigma. These are all related to flower. Okay. Filament, anther, pollen. So these are all related to female part of the flower. These are all related to male part of the flower. First, understanding question is very important in any competitive exam. Pick the or find the odd one out. Odd means which is different from the remaining options. So let us see this C option. Beetroot is a root. Potato is stem. Carrot is root. So here one is potato stem is included here. Here if you take potato stem, carrot root, radish root. So come on, select from these two. Odd one, which is odd one? So potato, carrot is common. Here radish is given and here beetroot is given. So as in both options, stem is present. So root and stem are there. So here C and D. Let us proceed to next question. How many whorls are there in typical flower? 1, 2, 4, 3. How many whorls are there in a typical flower? What are they? Okay. C. Some of you are saying C. Here the mention typical flower means a complete flower. So compulsory it has to possess all the 4 whorls. What are the 4 whorls? Calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. If these 4 are present, then it is called a typical flower. Okay. So option C is correct. Very good. Most of you are involving in this quiz. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel. So you will get live updates by subscribing our channel.